Hello?
Hello?
Hey, wait a second.
Yes.
Now. Hi.
Hey, hello.
Michiel?
Yes, it's Michiel.
Michiel. I was just thinking of you.
Why were you thinking about me?
I don't know, I was just preparing for a show and you were in my head. What's up? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. We were waiting for you. Where are you?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm coming. I'm very close. I'm on my way.
So where are you?
Listen, I'm at the bar called Surfbad. Listen, I'm wearing a leather jacket.
A leather jacket, okay.
It's a bit intimidating, but that's not my purpose. I'm a sweet guy. And I also brought you a present.
Okay, so we wait.
Hi.
Hey.
Michiel. Hi. Hi, how you doing?
Very well.
I'm a touchy-feely person.
You can sit over
Yeah,
there.
you're the boss, Heroes.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sina, nice to meet you. Yeah, so this is the jacket.
Yeah.
This is a present for you.
Did you... thank you very much.
Yes.
Is it a t-shirt?
Yes, it is. How did you know?
Yeah, you said I want to give you a t-shirt.
Wow, this looks good. I like it.
Do I have to wear it?
No, you don't have to, but you can if you like.
I don't know, it's...
Oh.
Yeah. Can you explain?
Can I do a little photo?
So yeah.
Is this your camera? And this is your camera. That looks good. Can you smile? That's nice. I like it. You're a very sweet guy.
Can you explain why? What's the idea behind this t-shirt?
Yes. So look, this is a triangle. It's a triangle of our success. We are creeps. We are creeps from the Middle East. We are the team here. And Kirak, you know, is keeping real art critics. I can explain it later to my viewers.
Oh, yeah, maybe you can explain whilst sitting there, then we have the good audio.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I do anything the same.
But I give it to you, and then
Okay.
continue. Then you can continue. Yeah. So.
This is a triangle.
Yes.
It's a pyramid. It's an all-knowing pyramid. Wait, I hold like this, and I know you cannot hear me, right? So okay, so Creeps from the Middle East. It's our series, and Kirak is another collective. Is a keeping a real art. What was it?
Critics.
Yes.
Critics.
And this is the Unsafe House. So these are for me the three most interesting contemporary art collectives right now in the world, perhaps. That I know of.
Yeah.
And then there is in the middle, there is you and your podcast and your work, which I really admire. You're called Geesten, and this is your eye, the all-knowing eye of Michiel Lieuwma.
And why am I in the middle of all this?
Because you're the observer. You're like the... Here, you can have it. You're the observing. You're the all-knowing.
Yeah, should I wear it? I don't know.
I would like you to wear it. It would
Yeah.
be nice. Wow, on camera it gets naked. I like it.
Yeah.
Can I have a drink?
Yeah.
What
There's
is that?
water, and I don't know.
Looks like
it's
wine.
just
What is it?
They know what it is. I don't know.
Wow. Do you put anything in there?
I didn't.
They do.
They might.
Yeah, I have just people.
They know how you perform best, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what they.
But
give
I don't
you.
do any drugs. I'm substance free.
You're from Berlin, but you don't do any drugs.
I don't do any drugs. I swear.
So,
I don't do any drugs.
How does it look?
This looks amazing, man. I have to take a photo.
Yeah.
Wow.
So tell me,
Beautiful.
the creeps of the Middle East. That is
From.
you. Yeah. Sorry, creeps from the Middle East.
Because we're from there.
Yeah.
Like immigrants, it's a passive thing. It's
Yeah.
not in the Middle East or of the Middle East, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So creeps from the Middle East. That is you and
Stefan Boze and Suzanne Lanting.
yeah. And you have Kirak and you have the Unsafe House / Tariq Sadouma.
Also others, but
and
yes.
you said, well, those three are the most interesting things around.
Yeah.
So why do you consider yourself interesting?
I trust me the most. Yeah, I trust me, my talent and my potential. And my team so much. And I know we're on to something great. And it's going to be good and I trust us. And I think the bar is quite high because I really like Kirak. I grew up watching them. I mean,
I grew up watching them.
I don't know. Let's say it like this. I watched them grow up with me. We grew up together, basically. And then...
what do you mean by that?
I watched it from the very beginning. I studied with Stefan Reitbeek.
Yeah.
And I know Tarek from early...
you studied with Stefan like you were classmates, or?
No, he was 1 year higher.
Okay.
Or maybe 2 even. And his sister was in my class, Sabina.
Sabine.
Sabina, yeah. And I liked him. I liked him from the beginning. He was very sweet. He was, I think, organizing like cinema lectures and stuff. He was a very sweet, approachable guy, very supportive. And yeah, I watched the very first episode. I think when I watched the first episode of Kirak on YouTube, it had less than 10 viewers, maybe 7 views. I was one of the first. And since then I've seen everything. I've seen it grow. And I was falling apart. But it's not my fault.
And what do you like about it?
I like that it's kind of reflecting the stupidity of people. But I like it from a comedic point of view. I think it's very funny. It's hilarious. I think it's a bit overrated in terms that people think it's intimidating or subversive or provocative. But I'm laughing my ass off. I really think it's so...
It's very easy to provoke nowadays, isn't it?
I don't think so. Well, it's easy to upset people.
Yeah.
But nobody's really upset. I mean, even if you're like, can you use some makeup? I have some pimples.
I do whatever you want.
Thanks.
It's your show.
It's your show.
Oh, okay. But what I notice is that you immediately take the... how do you say?
Control?
Control, yeah.
The steer wheel.
So that's why I say it's your show.
Oh, no, but that's not me. That's not me. No, but you seem... I mean, I did some research. I know who you are. And you seem to be a very open-minded guy.
How do you see that?
You really want me to give you compliments. Okay, I think...
No, I'm not aiming for a compliment. I just want to know what your observation is.
My observation is that you seem to be very, very interested in people and their projects, and you seem to be very curious, but it's not an artificial way of faking to be interested. You actually are. And even if it's...
I only talk to people who I'm interested in.
Is that so?
I guess, yeah. So I'm not interested in everybody.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
definitely
that's true,
not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I know who to contact, I guess. But yeah.
Right. And I think even when it's like... because you seem like a very bright person and very intelligent and interested in a variety of fields, but you're not afraid of going to dealing with topics by, let's say, experts or intellectuals who know more than you. You're willing to jump into the cold water and show a side of you that is not all knowing, because you actually are also learning during the process of filming and interviewing, which I think is nice, and you're definitely gaining something. Not only like the fame and the whatever or financial stuff, I don't know, but you gain like knowledge, and it makes you very interesting. I think you're onto something, and you're doing well, and that's why I wanted to be here.
Yeah, it's very nice. What I found really interesting is that you contacted me. You said you have to watch this, and then we can have a conversation. And usually I do the invitations, and now we turn it upside down. But sometimes sometimes it works. Sometimes I think I have this gut feeling I have to do it, and so that's what brings me here. I don't know what will happen next couple of hours. I'm just open to your idea. And so now you introduced yourself and you said, well, what I do, I'm onto something. I think it's really interesting what I'm doing. I'm really interested in Kirak and in Safe House and Tarek. Now, well, you've seen the show, so you know I'm also really, really into what they do.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you say, okay, I really like your open spirit, your way of not chasing something where you can learn from. So I'm open to anything. I don't know what we are going to do, so
I would like to treat it like let's be getting to know each other, right? I think watching your stuff, I see the potential. I think we can be best friends.
That's nice.
Yeah, so
but that's you're from Iran,
yeah,
right? So that's very Iranian to say.
I really don't say it to a lot of people.
But I know I've been to Pattaya in Thailand. There we've met 5 Iranian guys, and within 5 minutes we were their best friends. We were invited at their homes, and they said, you can stay as long as you want. And then I spoke to another Iranian guy, and he said, well, that's very.
That's how we roll. But I don't know. I don't know if
so I don't know how to read.
Yeah, I mean it.
Okay, but tell me why.
Okay, I think
it's not an audition, but I'm in the role of asking questions.
Right.
So tell me.
Right. Look, I'm a very intuitive person.
Yes.
Me
and
too. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see that. I was a feeling person, and I'm a perceiving person. So it's a gut feeling. Yeah, I like you. That's it. I don't think love needs reasons.
Okay.
You can conceptualize everything. Have you prepared for this a little bit?
Well, of course, I've watched the videos you sent me. But in a way, I don't feel much like beginning there. I think it's a bit lame.
Yeah, it's not a CV.
I don't want to do the interview,
okay,
you know? Like, you made a video and I'm the interviewer and then I'm asking questions about how you work. I think we can go deeper than that.
Wow, sure.
So I just want to know, well, I think we were on a very good... I thought we were onto something in the beginning of the conversation because we can just talk about the shirt, you know?
Right.
You said what you admire in Kirak. You said what you admire... Oh, you haven't told me.
I haven't told.
Yeah.
But I think we should start with Kirak.
Okay.
Because that's how things unfold, right?
Yeah.
Because Unsafe comes from Kirak, more or less, and Creeps comes after Unsafe. And it's all influencing each other in a way, which I think is kind of interesting. So... in Kirak is, I think, I supported it from the very beginning. I saw immediately they're onto something.
And how did you see that?
I have the eye for it. Really, I can see it.
Okay. I believe that you have the eye for it, but can you explain what did you see?
I saw an energy. I saw a critical point of view that was and still is missing in the art world, and the frustration they have that led them to make their videos is a frustration I also have, and more had, because I gave up making art because of bureaucracy, you know? Basically, it's a metaphor for everything.
Yeah.
So I saw they're fighting, and it's a fight, and I thought it's the good fight. You know, there's a war, and I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I wrote Stefan in the beginning. I like what you're doing. If you need me for anything, I'll be there. You know. So yeah, I'm very supportive. I really like what they're doing, and I know it's perceived as subversive. I don't think it is, but yeah. And then
can you explain why do you think it's perceived as such, and why do you think it's not the case?
It's not provoking me. It's not provocative towards me. It doesn't want to throw the king down. It wants to... but people are afraid, so they think it's subversive. But people are afraid of everything. People are afraid from Middle East. That's why my show is called Creeps from the Middle East, because it's... people think it's subversive. People see us as terrorists and pimps, you know? But we're not that. So, and then I saw Kirak unfold as an outstander, So I made my own interpretations between the. I was very interested about the dynamic within that group with Kate and Tariq, and I thought that's and I thought, wow, and then things happened, and then the Rietveld thing came, and then it became a new twist, and then the Sid Lucassen came, and it was a whole different thing, and now with Welbeck, it's a totally different thing. So it's really living organic, and I want to be part of it.
So you made the shirt to be part of it.
That's why I casted Tariq to play in Creeps, which he does. I casted Stefan. It's not a good timing now with the court cases, and he said he's interested, but maybe not now, which I totally understand. It was kind of a relief. It's like your army gets stronger, right?
I don't know. Can you explain?
Like, if there's a war, you can call it a cultural war or whatever, which there is.
You can even call it the culture war or whatever. That's I think that's
because I don't know exactly what culture war is. I just like the term so much.
Yeah.
So there's a war going on many fronts, and I feel me and you and everybody in this T-shirt, we are part of the 1%. I call it the 1%, and we're fighting against the 99%, which is everybody, right? And they're lame. They make shitty art. That's why I don't go to art events. That's why I don't put any effort in or spending a cent for cultural events of any kind. And like I boycott it, but not as a principle, but it's just because I don't like it. You know? Mm-hmm. I don't go to art openings anymore. I gave up. It sucks. It always sucks. So I'm fighting a war against these people. Let's call them mainstream. And then you see somebody like you or Kirak, or you see, wow, they're doing what I want to do, you know? They do, and they push it even further. Even though there's things that, I mean, I consider myself as brave, but even sometimes I think I wouldn't have the guts to do everything they do. So I really admire that. It's like, yeah, I'm fighting a war, and now I have more soldiers, and some of them are even like generals. I'm going out there and willing to fight the fight and die the death of a nice soldier.
And do you sometimes I like and sometimes I dislike the war rhetoric, like a culture war. Sometimes I think, okay, it really is a culture war, and sometimes I think, I don't know.
We can do sports terminology if you like.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just curious why you use it.
I think war is a beautiful word, like love. You know, it's just so big and abstract. You have no idea what it is. And also, I must say I'm very bored in life. From life, and life is just so boring. And when there's something, I like to see there's a little war. It just gives me a little kick, you know? And nobody cares about us anyhow.
So tell me something about unsafe. Why is it on the T-shirt?
Yes. So in Kirak is, there are, let's call it discrepancies. Let's put it mildly. Within Kirak, we all are aware of that, right? Aren't we? We can go in there deeper, if you like. So it seems like the dynamics are shifting a little bit, and so Tariq Saduma has his own thing, right? He's working on a mythology. He's doing something which is hard to explain, but is onto something. He has his pimp arc. He has this narrative of. I don't know. I think Tariq is it's for me a historical person. Like I know the history books of the future will mention him, and when you hang out with him, you can feel that, right? He has this charisma. He's like almost like a sect leader. So, and then he has his studio, and is pushing it to be. I don't know what it is. I like the word unsafe. I was there a few times. It seems very safe, but he knows what triggers people. But
it's a little bit irony.
I guess so. Yeah, I hope so. because it's also this reputation that Tariq Saduma has, you know, that he is actually, like, I get to know him. I know him the best from the Kirak triangle, and we're very friendly. We're becoming like actual friends, and we talk a lot. You know, we phone in the mornings and in the evenings before sleeping. You know, so I get to know him from a very personal perspective, getting to know him, and I trust him a lot. You know, and I think this reputation that even I, when I studied art school, Rietveld, he was like one of the big guys, because he's a few years older. He was already then, I found him intimidating, but not in a cool, fun way. And so, but it took me maybe 15 years to realize, okay, this is like a kind of a character, or I wouldn't call it a mask, but I mean, he's very much aware of it.
Yeah.
And so this guy he's playing it's fun and it's games, and so I trust him. So I don't think the unsafe house is an unsafe place. You know, I think it's very wholesome. So the dynamic within there. I was there the other day. They told me don't bring alcohol. You know, we don't drink here. Oh, nice. Yeah. You know, it's very nice. I think it's a sweet crowd, and I trust them. So I'm interested to collaborate more with them. Do you want to talk about the beef within Kirak?
Well, do you want to talk about it?
I can tell you my point of view and what I'm willing to talk about. I mean, I also have some stuff I would rather not say because I don't want to get involved.
Okay.
For me, it's like I love Kirak, and I want them. For me, it was always like one happy family, productive family that are just making babies, right? And when they treat their videos as babies, it's like we're growing. It's nice. And I was sharing all their videos for so many years, and then when I found out that there's some beef, potential beef, I was very sad. I'm still very sad. I want Kiraks to be together, and that's my goal. That's why we do creeps. Maybe we should talk about creeps now.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's the trial, right?
Yeah, so tell me why you consider your project as something interesting.
Right. Okay. Should we start from the beginning with this project? What Creeps from the Middle East is? Okay. So I had different careers in life. They all failed tragically. Like I was an artist. I wanted to be an artist, and I studied art. I wanted to be a comedian, and that failed. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm not funny, people are not funny, something is wrong with the comedy scene. And then I started to paint also, which was simultaneously when Corona came out. So it made sense to paint, because I applied at art school with paintings. Like, I'm painting since I'm 16. And ironically, I stopped painting at school and discovered like performance art, started to make performances. Then was upset with that. Started to paint, and then I turned 40, and I realized my paintings suck. I'm a horrible painter. I'm really not. I don't have great ideas or the technical skills of doing something interesting, and so I was very upset with that. Also understood that nobody gets painting, nobody understands it, and there was not even like a critical exchange of intellectual exchange with people I had, you know? It's like people are like, yeah, I don't like pink, you know? Like people coming and seeing my stuff. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know, like everybody has an opinion about painting, and it always sucks. And like to have like a real deep conversation about painting, I found out that actually bores me because it's a very limited medium. So, and then I said, okay, I have to do something now. I hate painting. I hate everything. I have to. And then coincidentally, I had an idea that I want to make a film, and it's coincidentally, it's the first. I had an idea for a scene in my head that starred Tariq Saduma, and then I came to Amsterdam in the first week of this year. And I lured him into my project. I lured my cameraman Steven and Suzanne to become creeps, to become a team, and let's do this thing together. And so now and then we started the film. right? And we started, and I thought I don't really like to work with scripts. I like to have a little outline, but I prefer more that the film unfolds, like develops itself together with the actors. And also, I want it to be something very organic, and I'm more interested in the people, in the casting, than the actual show. So I consider myself a casting artist. What I'm doing with Creeps is casting art. It's the art of casting. You do it a bit similar, but it's a different topic. So I want to bring people together. And I consider myself within this triangle as we're an ethical team. We want everybody to be happy. We're nice. We're decent people. We show our footage to everybody before anything happens, before we publish anything, and we are basically. I talk for myself, not for my team. When I say that, like for example, with Kirak, I totally dig what they're doing, but they don't treat the subject very objectively or very sometimes not nice, like which is nice, which art doesn't have the responsibility to be nice to your subject, right? Like what they did with this right-wing philosopher in the porn. Okay, they kind of screw them over, you might think, I don't know, but we would never do that. You know, if I would have done the film and the guy says I don't want it to be published, I wouldn't have published. That's what Creeps is. We're ethical. We are maybe democratic.
On multiple moments in our conversation, you mentioned the art world. Mm. You said, "Okay, I feel really critical about it. I feel I do not belong there. I feel rejected. I hate it.
Yeah."
And then you said, "Okay, people see me as a creep. That's why I'm calling myself now the creeps of the Middle East." Sorry.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to know more about it.
My frustration towards the art world.
So how do you? And what I also see is that you, for instance, with the comedy, you say that's something wrong with the comedy scene, or so you see it, you disconnect it from yourself.
Yeah, I'm estranged. When I studied art and did a master, I had a great time, and I knew great things would happen after this study, because I studied at Rietveld and at the Sandberg, and I loved it. I had a great time, great people, great teachers, great environment. So I felt kind of it felt very hospital. And when I left the education, I jumped into the cold German water, and being now in this art scene where nothing interesting is happening. Like all the interesting stuff that happened at school, they are not there anymore. The curators are doing a horrible job. All curators, 99%. You never see a good show. I never see something I like.
And how come?
I mean, I'm critical. But I'm also very open-minded. But I think it's on a loop. It's leading to nothing. I go to an art show, and I don't think these are the right artists who should be hanging here or screening here.
And what's your analysis? How the things are the way they are?
I don't have an analysis. I think
let's have a try. We are with the two of us.
Help me.
Okay,
then.
to help you a little, I've done a lot of research about this topic, because like 8 or 7 years ago, I was writing a novel about the art world. So, and then I talked with a lot of people about it, and that's what. That's where I came to learn a lot about how the world of art works.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to Well, I want to give you the first shot. So when you look at the art world, when you do Rietveld, where you have this expectation about being an artist, and when you meet all kinds of people working in arts, and when you go to galleries or shows or anything, I don't know. Can you tell me something about it? What's your expectation? How it should work, and how does it work, and how come things are the way they are?
Right. I think there's a trend for many years that things are starting to become less intuitive, but more seen from a sensory perception. Things become more pretty or aesthetic in shape and form. And content-wise, it's not challenging me. Maybe the word is boredom that I'm trying to avoid. I'm so bored. Nothing is happening. And the financial aspect of it is getting bigger and bigger. And it's a scene, you know. It's not for me. And I decided that I found it out for a long time. And but I think what I do like is the comedy scene. And comedy as medium, because I'm still an artist. You know, I just lost hope going to the big shows. But I have an artist soul, and I still believe in art. But for me, art is comedy. Comedy is a true art, and the rest is bullshit.
And why do you consider comedy as a
because
true
I think a sense of humor is the highest gift God gave us.
Did you know that I also started as a comedian?
No, I didn't know that. Tell me. As a stand-up or?
Not as a stand-up, but in the Netherlands we have this very specific art form. It's called cabaret. Mm-hmm. It's like a stand-up comedy, but more arty version of it. And when I was 16, 17 years old, I really liked it. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to become a comedian like that. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, I'm much more into the classic stand-up comedy, like the American way.
Me too.
Because now I found this art form a bit pretentious. Mm-hmm. And I really like the no-nonsense, cut the crap. Like what you say about the T-shirt. I really like the comedians now that open things up and look through it, like Joe Rogan, for instance. I don't know if I really like his comedy, but I really like that he's a comedian, and then he talks with 2,000 people and have this honest, open conversations on a very psychedelic way. And then I think, okay, this is a really, really good comedian having this database of great conversations.
Yeah, I like him.
For instance,
or
Louis C.K. To name a few.
Let's name more. That's my world, you know?
Yeah.
Way more than this art world.
Yeah, what comedians do you like?
Okay, I guess on top right now, for living comedians, I guess on top is...
No, living or dead.
Okay, I guess on top is... It's what every comedian says. It's Louis C.K., it's Richard Pryor. Living, I guess Bill Burr, Mark Maron, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Sarah Silverman... That gang. Everybody in that gang.
And
did I just name guys?
No, you said Sarah Silverman.
Oh, God. I'm so inclusive.
But no one from the Middle East.
There's no humor in the Middle East. There's no comedy in the Middle East.
No? Why not?
Because humor is haram. I really think laughing is forbidden where I come from. A good humor.
And so why do you do comedy if laughing is... Why?
No, I'm not from the Middle East. You know, I'm...
but you said you're from Iran?
I was born in Iran.
Yeah, and then at the age of 4 or 5, you moved to
Deutschland.
Berlin.
Deutschland. Westdeutschland.
Oh, Westdeutschland.
Yeah, Bochum.
Okay.
Bochum. Bochum is a city in... I call it the most average city in Germany.
And both your parents are artists as well.
My dad is a writer. My mom is a cultural aficionado. Yeah. They moved back to Iran recently. Yeah, I have a kind of artistic background.
Is it difficult to live in Iran when you're an artist?
Definitely. I mean, life in general is difficult,
Yeah.
and that's even more difficult if you're an artist, and that's even more difficult if you come from the Middle East or live in the Middle East.
And that's even more if you want to be a comedian.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so why did your parents move back if they're both artists?
They retired, and they never wanted to come here in the first place, right? Like all immigrants. You have to see it from that point of view. When you see an immigrant, think he didn't want to be here. You know, it's not like, wow, we're doing you such a great favor letting you be here. That guy doesn't want to be here. You know?
Oh, that's how it's framed in politics. Right?
Definitely.
Like all this luck seekers.
Yeah. So when my parents retired, they were like, what am I doing here? You know? Let's go back. That's back to the roots. That's where we come from. We're from the desert, man. We're desert people. We don't belong in this rainforest.
Yeah.
That's so lame to say, but yeah. No, I guess they missed it. Life there is nice. They moved to. They're not living in Tehran because life in Tehran is impossible. They moved to the countryside. They live at the Caspian Sea with a view on the ocean and on the sea, and they bought like a huge orange plantation, and they're having a nice time, which is not so easy here because it's very urban. It's kind of romantic, I think. They're very romantic people. They're very nice people. They love each other to a point that it's almost disgusting. Like they write love poems for each other, and they sing each other's songs, and they hold hands. They make out in public. It's like it's horrible. Like when I would I had a very wild, let's say 20s. My 20 to 30 was kind of wild, and I'm also a sucker for love. I had horrible relationships and horrible breakups. And then I would always go back to my parents' place in Bochum to detox, right? Detox from these evil women. And then I would see them being so happy with each other that it makes us sick, man. But yeah, it's a working couple. I love couples at work that are nice. They're very rare. I know 3 couples that I like. One is Steven and Suzanne from Creeps. Like it's a functioning, healthy relationship, which I really admire. And one is Marco and Julia from Bochum. Totally different ball game, but they also love each other and it works. But other than that, I don't know any couple where I envy, where I become envious. I'm like, I also want this kind of relationship. And I don't know your relationship, but so yeah, where were we?
Well, we were.
Love is a very interesting topic.
I asked you about the art world and what was. I'm still really curious about this feeling of not belonging and end up hating it. But then you moved to comedy. You said no. I want to talk about comedy because that's my real passion and that's the real art form. So, and then we talked about Iran, and then I got interested in the story of you and your parents and why you moved to Berlin and why you moved to Amsterdam. So I'm caught up in this maze of asking you like 20 questions at the same time. But let's zoom in on the topic you want to talk about.
Right. You're very good, first of all. You're very good in remembering. I don't remember what I say or what people say. I have a very bad memory, but you're good with that. I like that. Thank you.
Well, I don't know. Well, thanks. But well, today we have this really open conversation, right? Because you invited me. So then we started with this triangle, and what I try to do is I want to pinpoint you somewhere. I want to know, okay, where are you? What am I looking at? That's why I really like that you gave me this T-shirt, and I know, okay, you feel like you're in a way, you feel like sorry, I have to. You feel that you're in a way like-minded with Kirak and with Tariq and in Safe House, and you feel you can relate to me on the same level. So you're looking for like-minded people because you feel that you're caught up in this maze, this culture war, this cooking pot of culture war, and you're also an artist, and you want to have this artist way of life like your parents had, and it's maybe even why they fled Iran to have a artistic life in Germany. And so you're looking like, okay, how can I find people who I can relate to, and how can I articulate what I want? So that's, I don't know, maybe I put it too.
No, I think you're doing a great job.
I do an effort to make it like a story. I don't know, but this is what you give me. So if I say that, it's...
You get it. No, you get it. You're great. No, that's what it is.
So I just try to find out who's...
Yeah, we like the same comedians, right?
Yeah, and then we start talking about stand-up comedy, and that's what I really like, because for me it's an art form as well. And I just want to know, what is it with comedy that gives you the feeling that it's...
I think comedy comes from a good place, but it ends up nasty. Like, comedians are supposed to say the wrong things, and you don't have to mean a joke, right? And that's what I really like. It's a way kind of how it shifts from thought to a joke or a performance or an act. It goes through such a wonderful transformation and becomes something so beautiful, can become something so nasty. You have it sometimes in paintings, like when I paint swastikas, it doesn't mean I'm a Nazi, right? I'm just painting a swastikas. And if a comedian says something racist, sexist, unwoke, then it does mean he's not woke at heart or he's a racist. And so in comedy, you're allowed to do that, more or less. I mean, comedians get cancelled like nobody else, but still it's in the medium, it's in the form of the art that you're supposed to say the wrong thing, and you can do anything for a good joke. And giving yourself to that, giving yourself to a good joke is priceless. And I love that. I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die as a joke. I think look, now we're doing Creeps. It's a new project for me. It's my biggest passion. I don't like the word passion. It's the biggest project in my heart that I've done so far. And I feel I'm really now having work on episode 1, but now it's like, I feel I want to do this till I die. I can see me being 90. I can see you doing this for the rest of your days. I see myself doing Creeps until the day I die. And so I feel very fulfilled. And Creeps is comedy, It's a comedy show. That's how I like to see it. And that's how I like to treat it. Because I lost faith in all the art forms, and the only one that's left is comedy. And even stand-up is fucked up. If you really go into stand-up, which I know you do, but people don't, if you really go and see the web untangling, there's a nasty spider in the middle. And but in video, the way we treat it is very, very pure and nice, and it gives you is a very wonderful platform that I'm trying to create. I don't think it exists yet. Like, we don't have a budget, which means we don't have a producer, which means there's no big company behind us. There's nobody telling us what we have to do, so we can reinvent the series. We're making a series. And so we can define a new way to create comedy, which is great, which I'm very happy with. And I think great things will happen. And and maybe it's an age thing. I know how old you are. I'm 40. And I wasn't ready to do this 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I mean, I'm basically still the same person. I look very young. But I wasn't ready to do comedy. And I think usually people shouldn't do comedy before you're 40. More or less. And 40 is the age where now you're ripe. You're the ripe age to make jokes. It's like the
Yeah.
end of bullshit.
I guess the first Woody Allen movie was also when he was 40 or something.
Yeah, he started late. I mean, he's a genius.
And up till now he made like 40 movies or something, a movie a year. And I really admire him. Actually, the one of the last scenes in your first episode of Creeps from the Middle East.
The Middle East. I'm joking.
Really reminded me of this Woody Allen-like humor.
The old stuff, right?
Yeah, because
the 70s.
Because in this scene we see you and you have a date with a girl, and then we see you doing a barbecue, and you fuck up in every sense. And if you see it as a classic date, then you see her like, my God, is this my date? But she really helps you, and then you still, how do you say, digging your own grave with the date.
Right.
And then in the end, there's this moment you rant, like blaming everything but yourself.
Yeah, even the Me Too movement.
Yeah. So, and that there at that point, I thought, okay, that's the potential I see in this project, because there, it's like this really Woody Allen-like humor where you have your avatar of yourself. It's like we see you, but you're playing yourself. So that's really what Woody Allen does a lot in his movies. Like in Manhattan, it's not Woody Allen; it's actually a character. But you have this feeling like, okay, but Woody Allen his life would be more or less like this character. You play with the convention, like the image people have of yourself, and you play with it. So that's really
that's a good reference.
why I understand what you're aiming at with comedy. I guess it's nice to try to watch a piece. Then I remember my question. I had a question about it.
What are you gonna cook? Let's start with that.
Okay, I have sausages, bratwurst, German style, meat, and I have pork belly.
Okay.
Nice.
So I don't drink alcohol and I don't eat meat. So this is a little bit.
So because it's pork, I can maybe look for some chicken in the freezer.
No, I don't eat meat at all.
Really?
I just
Straight edge.
cold turkey.
Cold
Not
turkey?
cold. Yeah. No turkey.
I don't get it, but okay. Try to get the fire on. I did.
It's fine, it's
I'm the
fine.
man. It's fine.
What do you mean? I'm the man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Oh my god.
Shit. We're fucked.
Just take it easy.
Oh yeah.
Just take it easy.
What should I do now?
Nothing. Just leave it. Just leave it.
It smells horrible.
But it's fine.
Smells really horrible.
It's fine.
I'm ruining this date.
Okay, just relax.
This
Sina?
date is over. I'm sorry. I fucked it up again. I fucked everything up. Fuck. But the neighbors will call
Sina,
the fire. Give me please a lighter. Please give me a lighter, please. I had a fucking lighter.
I'm just gonna check for this.
I think lighter will solve things. Just gonna put more and then hope that.
Look, I need a drink now. Yeah, okay.
Wow. Yeah? Is it so bad?
I just it's an experience.
I read this. This is oh sorry.
It's an experience.
I didn't mean to touch you indecently. I'm a man.
I didn't even.
I support the Me Too movement.
Okay,
I like the ideas of the hashtag Me Too movement. I just don't think sometimes the right victims, the actual victims, are the ones who are gaining profit from it. Like a lot of people just do it, like the cutting hair thing for the women in Iran. It's just, I mean, should it be not? She did it for the likes, no? Because she doesn't get film roles otherwise. And oops, suddenly everybody wants to.
Okay, Sina.
It's really mean to the people who never get anymore. I'm depressed. That's
Okay,
why I'm
fine.
here.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Look at me, please. Can we just have one moment of contact? Because
Yeah.
I think you are really sabotaging this date. You want me to leave? I mean, I can leave.
No, don't.
No, don't talk. You are depressed.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Deeply, heavily. I know it's not sexy.
No, it is sexy. You know what's not sexy? Doing stuff like this.
I stopped.
But if you just talk and be honest and sincere, that's sexy. So if you're depressed, you're depressed. So tell me what's going on.
Well, I had a career move after career move after career move, and I all failed. And I did, I told you, comedy, hoo-hoo, didn't work. I started to paint like Picasso. Everybody called me Basquiat. I hate Basquiat, hoo-hoo. And then I started to make films, and now everybody's saying your films suck. And they're too long, and you're underacting, you should be overacting, and it's not fun, it's not comedy, it's not tragic, it doesn't have a plot, it doesn't have a beginning. People have porn brains, they have Netflix brains,
What I really found interesting is that you blame everything around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, during this conversation, you tend to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like pointing at everything around you. And but what I like about this scene is that you're using it also as material. That's why I think it in a way reminds me of Woody Allen, because you use your bad habits as a material for film.
Yeah,
So, do you understand what I say?
I guess so.
Is that true, or
I think it's true.
can you tell me something about it? Why do you tend to blame everything for a failing career?
Yeah,
Do you really want a career, or
I'm blaming everything, but I don't have good arguments,
yeah?
Like I'm saying, it's this, it's that, I had this, I had that. I'm even blaming the Me Too movement. It's like I'm going into this tunnel of just looking for conspiracies, and there's also the design of the shirt is a bit like a conspiracy theory and a schizophrenia, It's like everything against me. I'm part of this huge scheme, and at the end of the day, no one cares about you, and you can't even ruin a date with a willing date, play it here.
And do you see it? Do you really see it that way,
No.
or is it how do you say self-spot? What's that in English?
Self-deprecation.
Yeah, is it self-deprecation?
Definitely, yes. That's where my humor comes from. Yeah. Only, I'm willing to be a buffoon, and people not even knowing, like you or many viewers, not knowing if I'm like that in real life. So I show myself from the worst side. I'm willing to do that. As I said, I'm willing to die for a joke. If the joke is really, really good, okay, I give my life for it. Like I'm gonna top jackass. I'm not gonna break a leg. I'm gonna die. If it's really funny. So I'm willing to lose my whole credibility, my whole everything for a good scene. I'm not saying this is a good scene. I mean, Khadija Al-Masoudi, who's playing the person I date, is a great actor, and she made it a beautiful scene. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think I'm a genius at work or something. I'm trying out stuff, and this scene is actually interesting because we shot the rest before, and it was we shot the rest before in a week. And then it took us 2 months to think, okay, we need a scene. So this one was carefully planned. We need to have the actual dating scene. And so it looks like also what is missing before is the slapstick element, which is maybe something that reminds you also of Woody Allen. It's slapstick, and it has physical humor, which is not there before in the other scenes. And I think it's kind of nice because I'm kind of good with slapstick, I guess. Naturally, I hate slapstick, right? It's never funny, but slapstick is an important part of life. And I think it's underestimated and overestimated at the same time in comedy. Slapstick is a taboo, right, for modern comedians.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's it becomes a shtick. You're not supposed to do that. Louis C.K. wouldn't do. I mean, I'm just saying Louis C.K. is somebody we both agree is kind of a comedy god, right?
Yeah, he is just this really, really, really talented comedian. It's like he's a natural. That's why I admire him, because I think you can have the best jokes, but it's not about having jokes. It's about breathing this performance. It's like he is a natural. That's why I admire
exactly.
him.
That's why I like Kirak. When I watch Louis C.K., I'm like, oh God, I can finally relax. I don't have somebody's fighting my war, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch. It's basically it's me. It's a different version of me.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
the
it's like-
Louis C.K. of culture war, culture critic.
Exactly. It's like he's me. He's me with the bigger talent, the better performances, the bigger fame, you know. But it's the same soul, and it's the same thing. It's the same DNA.
Yeah. And do you like? I forgot his name. Wait. Do you like Bill Hicks?
Of course. How can I not like it?
Because I think he is the golden standard of dark, nihilistic comedy or something. I don't know.
I can totally agree with you. It's not. It doesn't do it for me, but maybe it's because it's a bit outdated. I mean, there's timeless stuff, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's
So-
difficult to watch our show on YouTube or something.
Yeah. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
But whereas I think, like for example, Louis or even Richard Pryor, but also Bill Hicks, the good stuff is timeless. Because at the end, it's all about being a loser, having problems in your life, right?
I don't even know if you have to say loser, because that's
Niche loser.
I don't know. I don't know if comedy is about being a loser, because I think being a loser has something to do with what you try to say in this scene. Like, you have this standard way of living, and you feel this pressure of society to fit in. So you think if you're an artist but you don't sell, then you are a failed artist. Whereas I think you can be an artist and it doesn't matter. It's just how you see yourself. So so being a loser is already. If you say I'm a loser, you already take it very seriously what society wants from you. But it's more, for me, it's more about being real.
Interesting.
Why do we have kortsluiting? How do you say?
A short
error?
circuit. No. I'm thinking if it's true what you're saying. I think comedy comes from either losers or niche losers or fails. That's comedy is always coming from a fail.
Yeah. Yes. In a way,
But
I
what
agree.
you're saying is also interesting, and nobody likes a successful, handsome person. Is never funny, you know.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, for example, call Louis C.K. a loser. I would call him a misfit or something.
I definitely call him a loser because Louis C.K. became funny the moment he started to play the loser card. Like before, like in the 90s and the decade after, like with Lucky Louie still and his first sitcom and the first film, he was like kind of trying to be funny. But the moment he got divorced and lost his children, more or less, as a full-time dad, and made that a topic, he became funny and approachable. And before he was just like doing crazy jokes, and that's never funny. Like you don't like to see the guy in a whirlpool.
Yeah.
You want to see the guy dipping his toes in the cold water, right? That's way more funny than a guy who's having a good time. It's really hard. So, yeah, comedy starts with losing. With you becoming a loser, playing the loser card. And I think And even with Bill Hicks, I'm not a Bill Hicks expert, but he was so frustrated that like he loser in a way that having the frustration we kind of feel also in life.
How do you know I feel frustrated?
We are all frustrated about what's going on. I don't mean daily life. I mean the art world and
Okay, yeah.
the circles we move in. That private stuff. So, like Bill Hicks had all his anger attacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That comes from frustration. That comes from being a loser.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree in a way what you try to say.
Richard Pryor.
But I don't think that I myself consider that
Being a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just a word. Because I like the word niche loser is a word I invented. Together with Tarek, actually. So we're talking not about... Because being a loser is an old term, you know. It's like, that's not really the thing, but...
Yeah, if you say loser, I think about the Beck song, I'm a loser, baby, why don't you kill me?
Yeah.
It's an archetype of the 90s, like...
Okay, and with the
we have
bullies
this
at
American
school.
dream, and then you have the counterculture and the alternative.
Yeah.
And then with Nirvana, alternative turns into mainstream. So you have this mainstream alternative, and then you have all these losers becoming this, this kind of losers, like Radiohead, for example. For example, Tom York is not a loser. Like he's singing, "I'm a creep." I'm a weirdo. But for him, it's his most hated song. He really hates the song. He hasn't performed it like 20 years.
But okay.
So it's like, okay, saying I'm a creep or I'm a loser in contemporary pop culture, it's like, okay, yeah, I needed to do that because I have to open things up. Like, okay, I have to release the energy. So I go to the stage and I sing, I'm a creep or I'm a loser. And then people love it. And then, of course, I'm not a creep or I'm not a loser. It's like an archetype I embodied for a split second to open things up. And that's how I see Louis C.K. And then you see being a loser is already in the narrative of being successful, and it's just the flip side of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it's just all kinds of counterculture or variations.
Mm-hmm.
But I see what you mean. You mean, okay, he's embodied the bad dad or the
bad husband, rather. Yeah, or the bad.
And that works.
Yeah.
That's what you basically mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the love spot.
But for me, it's not like, it's not being a loser, but for me, it's like being honest or being open or being deep about yourself. Like, it's not very nice to say you're a bad husband, but it's really releasing or relieving. It's really relieving to say it on stage. Like, I fucked up my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not being a loser, it's being open about it.
Right.
Isn't it?
It is.
I don't know, I'm just trying out.
No, I think you're right. Yeah. So, or maybe it's something you shouldn't think about if you make a scene like I'm doing here, with like improvisational comedy with the slapstick and like, let's have a bad date. That was basically the outline of the whole thing. It's like, let's have a bad date. Like, you come here for a good time because I look kind of handsome. Yeah. But then you come there, you see me, and I don't think this scene works, by the way, to be brutally frank with you, because I think I'm way too hot to play the clumsy guy.
Well, what I think why I think the date is not a good date is because you actually don't see her or listen to her. You're just self-absorbed.
Yeah.
And everywhere but at the table with her.
Right.
And she calls that actually in the scene. She says like, you're not here. Just stay here for a moment.
Yeah. The thing
so that's the backbone, I guess.
The thing was, I told her, Khadija Al-Masaoudi, that's the name of the actress.
Yeah.
I said, let's do a dating scene where I fuck it up. You come with good intentions. You actually want to go on a date. I fuck it up. Like, I bring wine. You don't drink alcohol. I have sausages. You don't eat meat. And so, and you're just being annoyed, and I'm trying to, like, hyperactively doing my thing, right?
Yeah.
But then what happened... So that was basically the whole script outline. But then what happened is, like, she shifted from being this annoyed person, which we had asked for. She turned to become very willing and supportive. You know, she's like she's like, no, come on, this is not being depressed. Is actually can be sexy. You know, it's like it's fine. Just come on, let's dance. Like, she's very willing, and that wasn't planned.
Yeah, but that's what's nice about the scene, I guess.
Because she's nice.
Yeah, but also that's because if you didn't so you said, well, the scene is not realistic because I do have the looks for
I do have the looks and the
for the
moves.
video.
Yeah.
But I think that's what she sees. She sees
me.
Yeah, and she thinks, okay, but he has the looks, but he's acting strange. So maybe he's just not that good in dating. And then she tries to break through to you. And then she tries to reach you. Like, okay, just relax and be with me for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, she does it so well that, we end up dancing, right? It's kind of cute. Shall we talk about another scene?
What do you want to talk about?
For example, Stefano Kaisers, who was also a guest on your show, right?
Yeah.
Hey! Sina!
Tigo!
Sina!
Tigo!
Je bent toch de jou de gek? Ja,
Come here.
man.
Come on. Get up.
Helemaal gestoorde guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Broer.
Yeah. Brother.
Ja.
Brother.
Je bent die gek.
Yeah.
Je ging toen in Duitsland. Heb je die optredens gedaan?
Yeah.
Toen hebben ze je met 2 beveiligers van het podium afgehaald.
Yeah, so it's...
Ik ging helemaal stuk. Ja!
Tigo. You want some money?
Nee.
I give you some money.
Ze haten je allemaal, man.
Here, take these cards. Take everything.
He's seen, for example, from the loser perspective, is like he's playing kind of the like a junkie, I guess. I don't know if that word is PC. Can you say junkie? I think
I don't mind.
Right.
I'm not really into political correctness, so here
Yeah,
you
me
can say
neither.
whatever you want.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, all right. What I like about that scene, because kind of that's outline is kind of very simple. It's basically, it's a bit lame. We see so many films with a homeless person or with a junkie, and it's always kind of lame. But I think he portrays it so naturally and nice, like because he's coming and saying that he's like a fan, right? He's like, hey, I saw your show, I saw that thing, I saw you with the dog, it's another video I made. So he's dropping all this information he's seen about me. And then, like, I love you, you're a great friend, a lot of love, you know? But in the end, he doesn't really care. He just wants my money and is gone. So I thought that was kind of a nice reflection, which he came up with. Maybe did it unintentionally or subconsciously, but it says a lot about YouTube. It's actually about what is the scene about YouTube. It's like what you put out there and how people perceive it, and people think it's great, and people think both Zomergeesten is great, but actually they don't care. If you give them 50 euros, they're happy with that, and they're gonna leave you alone.
And why didn't he play himself? It's what I was curious about.
Who is he? Who is he? Playing whom?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
Yeah, that's a good question.
but I mean, he's always using this his pseudonyms, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how much you're aware, right? The backstory is that I know Hofer, which is his actual name, since very long. We're old friends. We're like brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We started together. I know him since 2005 or 6. You know,
yeah.
very close, and like maybe a decade before he became a celebrity, right? So I saw his TV personality or his stage personality unfold. I was a big part of it, I believe. And I mean, he always saying I'm the biggest source of inspiration for him. It's a quote. So I saw all these different stages. I saw it from very close. I remember when Hofer in school, he was like, he would not. I saw the potential in him, but I bet his teachers, they're really surprised about how far he has made it and how successful he has become, because he was so honest and pure and not arrogant that it looked almost like he's not ambitious. You know, because all the ambitious people, they were arrogant, and he never showed any kind of arrogance, and I love that. And I saw, but he was also very hardworking. He already was, but he was always late. You know, he was like, but we didn't care so much. But then also, but when he made projects, it was like amazing stuff. So I thought, I immediately saw it's great, but it's also very human and very down to earth, and I mean, we lived together basically, right? So I knew this is a great guy, and then years passed where there was nothing coming from him. You know, there were times he wouldn't leave the house for months, and but then he got into this web. And he built himself up with really hard work and very passionate and very, very dedicated to his art. And he came really far. He's probably one of my more successful friends. I mean, yeah, in this episode maybe. Let's not compare. But and so why we chose him not to portray himself in the first episode is I asked him, what do you want to be called? Because I know he's very sensitive with his pseudonyms. I asked him, what do you want to be called? They said, Tigo. And that's how it started. And we have worked many times together.
And with everything we've said about comedy, how do you look at him and his success?
I love it. What do you mean?
Yeah, but why do you think that it works for people?
It works in Holland, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
It wouldn't work in Germany. Why does it work? That's a very good question. Let me think for a second.
It's a very difficult question.
It's a very difficult question. Well,
but I really like to ask this kind of questions because there's not a real answer, but I really like the attempt.
Mm-hmm. I think Hofer is it's kind of weird, like his character, but it's approachable. It's unique, and it is kind of pure. It comes from within. It's not. He doesn't do it for the likes. He doesn't do it for the views. He doesn't do it for the producers. He doesn't do it for the camera. I don't know. I can't answer that question. Sorry, I'm a horrible podcast guest. I don't have answers, but it is working, and I like it. I wish him the best. Like, I have other friends who are successful, but I'm like, meh. I don't support it. You know. Like I'm not. But with Gopher, I'm like 200% behind it. You know. It's like I would see myself. You know. It's like. Or
And
like,
why is that?
Because he's a pure soul. He's trustworthy.
I met him.
He's very humble.
Well, we've done a
podcast, Zomergeesten.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I invited him on Zomergeesten, and then my intention was not to get caught up in this play of who he is, and then during the conversation it started to become very clear that was the one subject I needed to get really deep into the question.
Which subject? Can you elaborate a bit?
Yeah, like who is he? Is it real or is it?
Okay.
Well, what is real? And then I was really surprised, indeed, about how real it is. And I really needed to be in a room with him to see it, to see, okay, this is not an act or anything. It's just, he's just playful in an up kind of way with everything people give him. So when you move around in culture, then all kinds of people want something from you, you know. There's always this claim, especially when you're getting traction, and he just plays with it. But this play, this kind of juggling with all the things people give him, that's why people think it's a game, or it's not real, or he plays with me. But when you see it, you see, no, it's not. That's not the game. It's like being really real, and that's what you also say.
Absolutely.
It's like so that's, I guess, why I don't see it as something. Comedy is not something for losers, because it's not. It's like, well, you lose something. That's true. You lose your poker face. You don't have to play the game, like keeping up appearances. It's like, okay,
your sex appeal.
On the moment you drop it, it's like, okay, I'll just be here and I'll just give whatever you want. Then it's real, and that's what I really like about it. Well,
I totally agree. Yeah, I'm curious about your opinion.
It's difficult to say it in English again. But what do you want to say?
No, I'm very curious about your opinion, because I know him for so long. And for me, and it's always the thing with celebrities that if you know them from before they became famous, and then they suddenly become very famous. But to you, first you're, it's always, I had it a few times with a few people. Like my brother is also famous now. Like I know him all my life, Gopher, and then he's becoming famous. And at first, like, wow, what the fuck is happening? Like, yeah, I'm checking out you on TV. When is the thing? I write in my calendar, it's on TV. And then they're so often on TV and so omnipresent that you kind of fall back. And I think that happens if you really love the person. You fall back into the old pattern, the former pattern, that how he was before, because that's how people are. And I see Gopher as the guy before he got famous, because he's not the guy you see now. You know, it's very different, and I think he appreciates that. And my other famous friends, they also appreciate that you see the old guy, because that's where all these things are coming from. And this loser arc, this loser scheme. Yeah, he has it too, definitely, you know. But yeah, I think it's very, he's, I don't know. It's you know why he made this, why he created the name Stefano Kaisers was that, because he was doing shows and he's giving all he has, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't want his mom to come to the shows. Which I understand, because when I make shows, or made shows, it's the worst thing when you have people you know, especially family members, that are sitting there like, oh, what's he gonna do, right? Because it's blocking you. It's like, ooh, it's my mom, you know, I don't want her to see my penis. May I want to show my penis, you know? Metaphorically, my metaphorical wiener. And Goffer doesn't want it as well, so he would promote his work with a different name, so his parents don't come. And then they found out, of course, who Stefano Kaisers is, and then so now he's again a different name. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Stefano Kaisers is dead.
But that's a joke, I guess.
I really don't know that, but that guy I don't know.
It's really funny to see all this television people pronouncing his new fiction name like it's really.
Is that the thing? Is that a trend? Why
No,
do you think
no,
it's a joke?
it's like it's a convention. If he's on television, you have to say, today our guest is blah blah blah,
Formerly known as.
Yeah. So for me, I guess he's playing with it. Like, how far can I go changing names and people go along with it? I don't know. It's just how I see it.
Right.
I don't know if it's true, but it's again just
With that guy,
stretching the convention.
with that guy, you don't know. I mean, he worked really hard. He came from nowhere. He became successful. He has 100K followers on Instagram, and then he kills a character.
Yeah.
Kind of beautiful, kind of self-destructive, kind of stupid. It might be real. With
Yeah,
that guy,
I
I
don't
think it could actually be real.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. I hope not.
It's I have a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I have this feeling like we're in the finale of this conversation, like in the apotheose of the conversation. And my thought is, okay, so why are we here? And then I thought, okay, so it might be that you want my feedback, and that's because I think you want my approval, and I think that because you try to give me this T-shirt, like you're reaching out and you say, okay, I like you, I want to be a friend. So in a way, I guess you want to
Impress you.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, and then when I listen to the conversation we have, then I see what I can give back. I see what my feedback would be. If it's true, you want my approval, and if it's true, if you want my feedback. But it's also very dangerous, because if you give people feedback who don't want feedback, then you risk angry response. So that's what brings me. That's why I first have to ask: is it true what I say?
Not 100%. No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm interested in your feedback, definitely, because you're a feedback person. I think that's one of your major skills. What I actually want is to be connected to you, not only because of the feedback, but because of what you do. You know, I like what you do. I think you're onto something. You're more than onto something. And I'm very thankful you have me as a guest. My main goal is, I guess, to promote my new show.
Yeah.
Feedback
If you say I'm onto something, what is it I'm onto?
Exactly. When you say you're onto something, it's something. You know, it's something. It's your world, and you're creating a world, and I support it. I'm observing it. Yeah, this T-shirt could also be the other way around, you know? I mean, we were brainstorming with the team how this T-shirt should be. Like, should be Kirak, unsafe, and open Geesten, and creeps in the middle, you know? Could also be. Could be a variation. Maybe that is actually the T-shirt. Because you're one of these collectives.
Yeah. the way I see it, Kira belongs in the middle because it's all orbiting around them, starting this whole mess.
Interesting.
But I also like being the center of your shirt. That it's a bit weird, but I accept it because it's this conspiracy theory kind of eye.
It's my handwriting, my drawings.
Yeah, I
Did you
like
know
it.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this handwriting also.
No, but I know. Okay, so you don't want feedback?
No, I want the feedback, but it's not why I came here.
No, okay. So, but I guess what I really it's difficult to.
If I wanted
grasp.
feedback, I would have called you or sent you a mail.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? I'm here to connect, and I'm here to use your fame to gain my fame. There's another T-shirt.
But I don't have any fame.
Yeah, you do. No, I think you're a celebrity too. I think the quality of your followers is very high. I mean, not the quantity maybe, but the quality. Like Stefano Kaiser's, sorry Stefano, but his quantity of followers is high, but the quality is like 12 to 14-year-olds, you know? It's like nobody cares. But we have some amazing people checking you out, listening to your stuff, and I'm glad I'm one of the people who can talk here. Although I'm a horrible guest, I'm not the best guest, I guess, but I'm really glad to be part of the thing. And I think,
so you want to use the loser card again?
No. So there's another T-shirt.
So okay, but I want to try my thought.
Yeah,
so it's not a feedback, it's a thought. What I thought is, okay, so you defined comedy as something that breaks through things, like Louis C.K. accepting that he has this terrible marriage and it exploded and he fucked up, and then he puts himself on stage and just be open about it. And so the way I see it, but I don't know if it's true, but I want to try it out. The way I see it in your Creeps from the Middle East video, you actually use this loser avatar to like you just did, using this loser card, like, oh, I'm a terrible guest. But I think for you, this is the thing you have to break open to become really open about things. Because you're not a loser archetype when I just have an open conversation with you. So I think I have to open up for you the opportunity to let go of the loser archetype or the loser worldview and just be yourself in all the situations.
Wow.
And so because I think that will work. So that's my feedback.
That's big, man.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, that's big. That's a game changer.
You're 40, so you have to you can let go. That's what I basically learned from this conversation. That's how it works. That's what I think. That's how it works. So that's just a possibility.
It's interesting. That's interesting. I might agree.
I know it's risky because if people don't ask for feedback, it's always terrible. But now I see it's not a feedback; it's just an option. I just want to give it back. Like, okay, I learned from this conversation with you. I learned who you are. I learned how you see things, and I think you're onto something too. And try to break through this loser archetype to open things up.
Oh wow, that's interesting. I like it. Wow. I like it.
It feels like, in a way, it feels like a natural to be continued kind of moment. I don't know if you want to say anything. Do you want to add something to my final thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. I think what you're trying... That's not what you're trying to not say. You're trying not to say something. because you're polite, you're decent. But what you actually want to say is that there's this loser personality, this loser arcade, as they call it, avatar. Sorry, is kind of done, and I have the potential to play more than just a loser. I can play a more deeper character.
Yeah, or more. You can. Well, yeah. In a way, that's a literal translation, but I think. What you admire in other comedians is that they open up after letting things go. So I think this for you is something you can let go because that's what you've done. Like I've stopped. You said to me, I stopped with being an artist. I stopped with being this or that, and you really play it out like, okay, so I'm this loser kind of guy in this difficult world. But when I speak with you, you're not in any way this kind of guy. You're just full of ideas, like popcorn popping ideas, like. So why? So I think there's a possibility to let go and to open up.
I hear you.
To see the next step in this becoming process.
I hear you.
It's difficult. It's terrible.
No, I got it, but you're amazing.
You're
amazing. No, I'm just taking it in. It's beautiful. I like it. Can I film you in my film?
Yeah, of course.
Let's do it.
Do you want to end with making some commercial stuff about your
I don't do commercial
project?
stuff. No.
Sorry. I mean, like when it's on.
Don't subscribe. Don't watch this stuff.
Creeps from the Middle East.
Don't.
When is the first episode online?
We're planning. How long did it take to edit this? Because we're planning to.
It depends. Well, there are a few really important episodes I have to publish
You
first.
have to do it first, so it's going to take a while. We're not going to wait for you. We thought maybe it's a good time to let it around the same time, maybe in 2 weeks, but if you need longer.
Okay, we'll see.
So we have another trailer online.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And
maybe it is already online.
it is already online, probably, yeah.
Yeah, so watch it. The links are here.
Don't. We don't do commercial stuff.
Okay.
Oh, it's a treasure, man.
I have to do some commercial stuff.
All right, here we go. I want to do... Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I want to do one.
Yeah.
Ladies... How are you? No, okay. Well, again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now sitting here at a table of Zomergeesten, which is an actual Dutch podcast. But we do it today in English because Michiel. Okay, I do it again. Lieuwma,
yes.
Yeah, Lieuwma, I said. Oh my God, we
suck,
man. We suck.
No, this is the most difficult thing to do.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, today we sit at a table of Open Geesten, which used to be Zomergeesten, which used to be Snijtafel, with the amazing host Michiel Lieuwma. Lieuwma?
Yes, Lieuwma.
Yeah. It's from the south, right?
Yeah, the name is from the north.
The name is from the north.
But it doesn't matter.
And please subscribe to his channel. Don't subscribe to mine. Subscribe to this in the description.
Yeah, and once you subscribed, please join the Patreon or Petje af.
Which we, as creeps from the Middle East, are already. Did you know that?
I know that.
We pay for you on a monthly basis. I'm also Patreon of Kirak.
Yeah, I'm really thankful because I think that's the new. Well, it's better to join Kirak or Open Geesten or Creeps from the Middle East than to subscribe to the Greenpeace or something, you know.
Volkskrant.
Yeah. So or Volkskrant. Yeah. So everybody unsubscribe with the big brands and subscribe with the small shows who really need the support.
Wow, that's sweet.
Right?
That makes sense.
It's a commercial for the both of us. That's nice. That's a good way.
I want to give you all the credits.
Thanks.
You can have it. You're great, man.